Mississippi radio stations across the Magnolia State. Thanks for being with us in the Pearl River Resort Studios. Pearl River Resort, home of the sportsbook at the Golden Moon Casino. Learn more about them online at pearlriverresort.com. We start things off in this 5 o'clock hour on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. And we're joined by now former Ole Miss offensive lineman Victor Curne. Originally from Houston, Texas, started his college career at the University of Washington, transferred to Ole Miss, was a starter on the offensive line for Ole Miss this season. And now he is getting ready for pro day, combine-type activities, and trying to continue his career. But, Victor, before we get to any of that, I know this is going to sound strange, so forgive me, but I got to bring you into a conversation that we were having in the last hour. Are you afraid of heights?
Definitely, easily.
Okay, so you're afraid of heights. So think about a cell phone tower that you see on the side of the road, right? I mean, you're driving along and you see the cell phone towers. How much would we have to pay you for you to be willing to climb to the top of a cell phone tower?
Just climb it. That's it?
Yeah, I mean, you get up there and hang out and take a picture if you want to. You can take a selfie when you get to the top. But yeah, I mean, you got to go all the way to the top. How much would I have to pay you to try that? And by the way, we would put a safety harness on you. You don't have to free climb it. You know, so if you slip, you're not going to fall.
That might bring my price down. I might say about a $50K. $50K.
$50,000. All right. Anyway, we had a guy that texted us a little while ago that said he used to climb radio and television towers for a living, and there was a bonus, and they paid them $1 a foot, and one of the towers that he climbed was like 2,000 feet tall. So it was, anyway, sorry. We're off the rail a little bit, but just thought we would start there. Man, your journey is a fascinating one to me. So you're coming out of Houston. You've got a ton of offers. You got Big 12 offers, you've got Pac-12 offers, and you go a long way from home. Why did you originally go all the way to Seattle to play for the University of Washington?
I think, like, the big driving force for me was really just Coach Peterson and Coach Huff. That was, like, probably the two driving forces. The main thing, they made me feel comfortable out there. They made me feel like it was okay to be not a West Coast kid and go to a Pac-12 school. And I felt like I could thrive and be comfortable and be myself up there and really, like, excel on the field and off the field. So that's what really, like, made me make that jump. I was kind of nervous being from the South going to the West Coast, but it was a smooth transition. They made it pretty easy for me.
So, Vic, I feel like we had some rumors that were dispelled this season about physicality in the Pac-12. I mean, that offensive line this year at Washington won the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in the entire country. So tell us about that. Tell us about the difference in playing on the offensive line in the SEC like you did this year at Ole Miss compared to when you were at Washington in the Pac-12.
Yeah, those guys won the Joe Moore. I'm proud of each one and every one of those guys. I love those guys to death. But I think the difference between the two conferences is really just body types and style, I think. I think you get a lot of more, wider bodies, bigger, longer arms, in the SEC. And then the Pac, you got more speed guys, more speed rushers, more guys that are sideline to sideline in the box, not your typical, like, downhill thumpers, that you have in the SEC, like in the Bamas, the Georgias, teams like that. And so it's just different playing styles, different body types. That's all it is. It's not really more of a mentality or anything like that. It's just, but, like, those guys can bang too, but it's just in terms of, like, what they're bringing behind that, more 6'2" up bodies versus, 230-plus linebackers, like those type of guys.
So it's more about what you're facing on the defensive side than anything that's happening scheme-wise or mentality for guys that are actually on the offensive line?
Yeah. The schemes are a little bit different, like some guys bring different stuff. It might be more 3-down teams or 4-down teams, but in reality, it's just playing style and body types to me. That's the main thing I seen out there this season.
Visiting with Victor Curne, former offensive lineman for Ole Miss, had this one season part of a special group for Ole Miss this past season that finished off the year with a win over Penn State in the Peach Bowl. We'll get to the Ole Miss season that you just completed in a second, but talk to us about what you're doing right now. You've got some guys that are getting ready for the Combine right now, other guys without invites to the Combine who are getting ready for Pro Day, which in a lot of ways serves the exact same purpose because you've got representatives from every NFL team coming to all these places. So as you get ready for your Pro Day, what's your focus right now?
My focus is just trying to nail down the details, whether that be steps during the 40, during the 10, the 5, 10, 5, or just nailing little things on my bench. Like how can I get a rhythm? How can I get my back and shoulders stronger? Little things, little technical things. Something that could be real, monotonous day to day, but at the end of the day, when it comes March and my pro day, I'm gonna need those things for that 1 day job interview. So it's never getting tired of working those things. But I think right now, I got an advantage of just squaring away on just one thing. You could look at it as I'm working on a pro day and not in the Senior Bowl or something like that, but I'm just focused on just my pro day and how can I attack those drills that I'm preparing for.
All right, so Victor, give me best case scenario. When you're there in the weight room, you got all those guys around you. It's a high energy atmosphere. You're trying to do the best you can. How many reps at 225? What's the number that makes you happy?
Number that makes me happy, anywhere between 25 to 30. I think for offensive linemen, that's what they're looking for. Okay. And that's what they're trying to see. Anywhere from 25 to 30, that's the reachable range, and I'll be excited if I can get in between that range right there. I'll be talking good money right there.
Does that feel like a reasonable goal for you? You think you can hit that 25 mark?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. That's what I'm reaching for. That's what I'm working for every day, or every week, really, week in and week out. I'm trying to perfect that, really.
All right, everybody loves it when you see those offensive linemen, they strip down to the tight shorts. They're not in the big, and they're getting ready to run that 40. You want to get as light as you can. What about goal in your 40 time? And, sometimes I wonder how much that really matters for an offensive lineman. I guess it's about judging quickness as much as anything, but what's your goal for your 40?
We always joked about it at Washington. We call it the underwear Olympics, but
that's right.
I think my goal is really like the 10-yard split, just to have a great 10-yard split. I think that's one thing that the scouts and the personnel they focus on is a 10-yard split for offensive linemen. I think the 40s is nice, the 4.9s and all that is nice, but I think if I have a good 10-yard split and I'm up there in between that, I don't know, anything lower than a 1.7, something like that, 1.8. Anything lower than that, I think is pretty solid right there, pretty reachable right there. So I think that you're talking good business right there when you're in that range.
All right. Will you do a vertical jump?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm planning on doing everything at this point in time. I'm not barring myself.
What's your vertical going to be?
A vert. I used to be a basketball guy. I used to kind of savvy that. Okay. But it's been a couple 100 pounds since I didn't play some basketball. But I'm hoping to get anywhere between try to get up to the 30. Try to get up to 30. Same thing with bench, I guess. Probably 25 to 30. As a lineman, you try to get up in that range too.
That's big time athleticism. Hey, what's going to stand out, Victor, for you when you think back on this last season you had? The year for Ole Miss, 11 wins, a Peach Bowl victory. What's the game? What's the memory? What's the moment that's going to stand out for you?
The game, for sure, hands down. I don't even got to think about it. The game would probably be LSU, but the moments is just nobody knows how hard the guys came together for this season, and nobody knows how much it meant to get that 11th win. I think that. If anything, that's what I want people to know is that 11th win was everything to Kiffin and the boys, and me, myself, the O-line. We took pride in playing Penn State and trying to protect Dart and trying to get a win for the Rebel fans. And so Like, I don't think the fans know. I hope they know how important that win was for us and the program, and you can kind of feel it moving forward, and that's led into what they got now. And so, but the season, I think I always remember how much fun I had. Like, how it was never a time where I was down, and now it was always, I felt like, man, like, I'm having a great time at Oxford. Like, it was never a moment where I was like, man, I don't want to be here. Like,
Well, Victor,
so I think that's what I wanted.
we really appreciate a few minutes of your time.